It's Patio Side Chats with Fernando Martinez from Chaparral Pavers with tips and advice on landscaping and gardening. Here's Fernando Martinez.
Yes, indeed. I am here. Hello, and welcome. Thank you for coming in today here on the patio with me. Today's topic, I wanted to make sure that we are all using our outdoor spaces, and especially you, to its full potential. I've been thinking a lot about it at my house, and I hope that somewhere through this show here today, we're going to really figure out something, how we're not kind of fully utilizing our back space and our outdoor space as part of our home. So your backyard, front yard entry, courtyard, sides of homes, whatever it is, I want to make sure that we're utilizing your entire property. You've worked super hard. You've come together and got this house, whether it's a household with a family and kids, or if it's just yourself or whatever it is. Really, I want to make sure that we're maximizing our money and our space. So we go and spend all this time and effort getting this. I think one of the first things you think about when you're buying a house or thinking about moving or whatever it is, like, how many square feet is the house, you know? And then, okay, well, what's the lot size? And really that number could be the more important number when it comes to this, what we're talking about here, really fully utilizing the whole space. It's pretty easy to utilize all the rooms in the house, you know, the office and the bedrooms and living room, and get all that stuff and have it all set up. And really think about that too with clutter and things, you know, and make sure that the whole living area feels good. It feels designed and nice and usable. And then when you walk outside, it should really be an extension of that. And that's what I mean by using the outdoor space to its full potential, because it should really just feel like more square footage of the home and really use that lot size that you have. You've purchased it, you own it, even if you're renting or whatever, but I'm assuming that you own and you're wanting to fix it up and do something really nice, or maybe you already have, but it's not really at its full potential of what it could be. And so it should feel like an extra room, an extension. It should feel comfortable, calming, relaxing, really nice, and maybe an area to play or cooking, you know. I want to talk a little bit about plants and fragrance. Does it feel private out there? So we'll talk a little bit about privacy. So that's what today's show is about, and where I want you to kind of be thinking today and really consider how we can maximize that space. So let's jump right into it, and let's talk about what would make the area feel comfortable, really. And when I think of a space being comfortable, first of all, you have to have furniture. So the outdoor furniture really needs to be well thought out. And you can, my favorite things, ways of designing is to compartmentalize areas. And so have different seating areas. And there may be the lounging area, especially outside during the day. If you want to sun or lay in the sun or sunbathe, there should be a lounging area and lounge chairs. You know, if you're lucky enough to have a pool, awesome. You know, lounge chairs look great around pool. But even if you don't have a pool, a couple of lounge chairs in the sunniest spot is inviting and can really add to that comfortableness and that relaxed feeling. If you want to eat outside, having a nice table, how many people do you plan on being out there? If, you know, think about for your max of what you would want to entertain and how many people you think would be out there comfortably, and provide seating for that, or at least most of that, and then maybe have a couple extra chairs, fold-up chairs or something that could be added, but make sure that the table's big enough. So a nice dining area with a table and seating. You could have maybe an outdoor bar and a place like a little raised up kind of outdoor bar stools. Maybe have a little fridge outside, or just even a little table that you can have an ice chest, or I've seen where they make little buckets, ice buckets, or even wine barrels full with ice, and you can put drinks in there. and people can sit around a little taller table and talk and chat. Adirondack chairs are the most relaxing chair you can sit in because you're automatically, when you sit in an Adirondack chair, you're immediately leaning back and looking up at the sky. It's nice, big, wide arms. You can set a drink on there or whatever and just relax. Bistro sets are cute and nice and quaint. And even I love bistro sets in small areas. So if you have a small area kind of, off somewhere, or like a little flagstone pathway going to a small patio or something, and you wanted to do some furniture there, a little bistro sets, and that's usually 2 or 4 chairs. I like the bistro sets with just the 2 chairs and a table. Very, it's going to feel like a little private area where just 2 people would go out there maybe, or even just one person and just, have a cup of coffee, or I don't know, just a conversation or read a book. And make sure to get cushions, because comfortable means comfortable. It shouldn't be hard to sit on. It should feel soft, or even some of the wood ones where they contour the seating and they contour the back and it just feels right. Very, very important to maximizing the outdoor space, because if it looks awesome and you go out there and you're not comfortable, there's nowhere to sit, I just think it's incomplete. It's just not going to give you that same vibe. It'd be like a living room without a couch. Wicker couches outside are really cool and fun and big. I like them along walls. You can put a wicker couch along a long wall, and maybe put up some garden art above it, some sort of artwork. So yeah, comfortable. Also, during the day, if it's really hot and sunny, you want to think about shade. Is there a shade area for hot days? Did you plant? Is there a big tree already there? Do you need to plant a tree? It could be something as simple as an umbrella to provide the shade. Super easy to set up. If you want to go a little more elaborate and do a pergola, there's a lot of do-it-yourself pergolas. I see them sometimes at the box stores, and you can get them online, easy kits. Or, of course, you can go all the way and have a framer, construction guy come out and build the full-on pergola, whatever. So think about shade during the day. And also at night, think about whether it's going to be warm or not. And you can do a fire pit. You can do outdoor heaters. They have built-in ones. They have ones you can rent for parties or whatever. But really think about how that's going to incorporate into that comfortable feeling for outside. So warm nights, fire pits, some sort of heating, shade during hot days, and furniture. That's going to make a huge difference in the backyard. It should also feel calming. And so how do we get a nice, calm feeling? The first thing that comes to my mind is a water feature. Adding a water feature outside and that soft trickling sound of water. And there's so many different ways to do that, from a fountain to the bubbling basalt stones to pondless waterfalls, all the way to koi ponds and anywhere in between. So we're just kind of talking about an overview of how to maximize a space. Not all these things are going to work for you, but some of them might, and maybe all of them do. I don't know. I don't know of any things that I'm looking here at my list of what I want to talk about that would be a bad idea, and they would all work together. So I mentioned art, and I think garden art is really fun, and it's personalizing. That's one thing I really love about garden art. I'm 100% on board with it. Especially if it has sentimental value of you went on some trip up north and we were at this one store and we found this piece and you brought it home and you put it in the garden. It's there to remind you of that. So I love things like that. Garden art is huge. And I love even on the walls, on the fences, on the walls of the house, anything. I see a lot of times in outdoor garden shops where they have words, even the word relax, or there's a lot of stuff to do with wine here on the Central Coast, little neat sayings on plaques. But artwork is really nice, and it's very personalizing and can provide sentimental value as well. So think about artwork. And it is kind of relaxing when you see that, and it takes you somewhere else other than the trials of the day, and work and whatever. So think about paint. Also, you can utilize paint in maybe your fence is old and ugly or whatever. Give it a coat of paint. If the house needs painting, pick a nice soft color. I love dark colors during the day, where if your house is a really bright color or if the fence is really bright or white, consider those things. Also, fragrance can be huge, and you can do that through plants. Plant maybe a jasmine vine nearby, or there's so many different things. Roses can be quite fragrant. Lavender, any number of herbs and things. You can grow mint in a pot in the ground. It gets kind of crazy. It has a tendency to spread, but you can do mint in pots. That can go on the table. There's so many ways. Citrus trees have wonderful fragrance, and there's just lemon verbena. I love lilac. Has a wonderful fragrance. So think about fragrant plants. That's another way to get the mind relaxed and calm and a really comfortable feeling. So also at night, while you're sitting by that wonderful fire pit, or you're out there with the warmth of the heaters, landscape lighting can be very calming and relaxing if it's done correctly. Remember, no light in your eyes. But one thing that if it's really dark outside everywhere around your yard, especially if you have a bigger yard, it can be disconcerting if you can't see, or you hear rustle in the bushes, maybe some possums out there, or a cat or a bird, or who knows. But it's just, you're able to see and you feel more comfortable because it's kind of a safety, it's like a peace of mind thing. You can see, and I'm not talking about, floodlighting the whole yard, because that would be harsh. The idea is, and I think, and we're going to do a show on lighting too, but I want it, when you come to lighting, when you think about lighting, I want you to think about color temperature. And like I said, we could do a whole show on it, but I'm just going to briefly talk about color temperature here for a minute, because I think it's really, really important. There's a Kelvin rating on lamps, on landscape lighting, and it describes the temperature of the light, which is directly related to a color. So the higher the Kelvin rating, the more white, and the more it goes towards that blue. I think we've all you've seen those headlights, they're blue coming down the freeway. It's very harsh, sharp. It can hurt your eyes. And, that rating, anything over 3,000 Kelvin, 4,000 Kelvin, 5,000 Kelvin, you're going to have a really bright white, piercing white. My favorite Kelvin rating is 2,700 or below. So 3,000, you're okay. It starts going to the yellowish warm light. 2,700, I think, is probably really close to candlelight. And you can get down to like 2,000 Kelvin, and it's just a soft, warm glow. That, I could just stare at that light, and it feels good. If you look at that bright white blue light, it hurts. So think about that when it comes to landscape lighting. And then also, you get that low Kelvin rating, nice warm yellow. You can tell, you don't have to be technical about it, whatever the rating is. Just look at the light before you buy a bunch of them and know what color that you're going for. Outside in the evening, that firelight is the most beautiful color. That's what we're going for, that soft, easy glow. And if you see that throughout the yard, just highlighting the trees up into the trunks, and the paths are lit, and you have some ambient light that you can see, it really adds to that effect. You hear the trickling sounds of the water, the warmth of the fire pit. You're got that little whiff of fragrance of jasmine. You're sitting on a nice, comfortable chair with a cushion. I mean, that is maximized utilizing and truly enjoying your space. I also like music. I love nice, calming music. Music can change a mood as we know, in a microsecond. And obviously you don't want to be playing, heavy thrash metal, or maybe that's what you're into. But, the idea is to be comfortable, calm, relaxed, play some appropriate music. It doesn't have to be classical music. It can be some easy listening rock. There's any number of even some soft country or some nice folk or singer-songwriter style music. And it's going to, so outdoor speakers, and again, everything that I'm talking about, you want to make sure that you're doing it to its fullest potential, so not this little tiny fire pit that barely puts out any warmth. Get something that's going to work and last for a long time, provide some heat. If we're going to be doing outdoor speakers, don't get some cheap Bluetooth, tinny sounding, no mid-range. Get something, reasonable. Doesn't have to be over the top, but listen to it first. It's the same with the lights. You get the cheap lights with the high Kelvin rating. They're this blue, bright, blah. I'd almost rather see you not do it, because if you're going to do something, each piece, take one step at a time, look into it, research it, find out about it, what's going to be the best, or at least reasonable and in the middle of somewhere, unless, you want to go extravagant on some of these things, that's great. But don't, force yourself with a super tight budget to try to fit a lot of these things in. Take them piece at a time, finance them, do whatever you have to do to, save up, whatever it takes. However, you like to do things, but just make sure the lighting's nice and warm. The speakers, if you're going to get them, that they have a decent sound so that when you're listening to them, you actually are relaxed. And then make sure that things work too. You're not frustrated with it. There's nothing worse than having just some friends over and the fire's going and everything's feeling good and we're going, let's go outside, and then you go to turn the music on and the Bluetooth won't connect, and this phone and this dang speaker, and it's just, you're sitting there fighting. It ruins your experience and the people around you. So if you get all this stuff figured out first, wire it up, make it nice and easy, get everything set. That way when you go to hit play on the music, it just works. It's beautiful. It sounds good. So anyway, that's kind of what I have in mind for really maximizing and utilizing the space and to make it feel like truly part of the home and utilizing all that square footage of that lot, to the best that you can. And again, take a piece at a time. If you can't afford to do it all, I'm in that boat. I can't do everything I want to do all at once. And you piece it out over the years. But definitely do it. Don't wait. And then you go to sell the home and we're going to move. And then you're like, well, someone's going to buy this place. Let's fix it up so that we can sell it. Because that just seems like a tragedy to me. And we do that. But I want something better than that for you. Now, what about playing outside? We got to play. We're just big kids in adult bodies. And, I love lawn games. So, if there's a nice space for lawn games, great. Or, they're pretty cheap. You go down to the, luckily, the really good thing about box stores, and sometimes we talk about maybe they don't have the best products, but one good thing that I like about box stores is you can get things like lawn games pretty cheap, and you're not going to be using them all the time. They don't have to be some solid thing or whatever, So lawn games are so fun, and there's so many of them. There's so many different ideas. Again, utilizing the space. If you don't have a game room in your house, make your lawn the game room. And if you get some of those ahead of time before the party and, kids' birthday parties or whatever, they can be absolutely fun. Also, artificial turf. I love making putting greens out of artificial turf. One of my favorite uses for artificial turf. Also gives you something to do and use in your backyard or front yard, possibly, whatever, but usually a backyard for something like that. So I also want to talk about cooking outdoors and a little bit more about plants and privacy when we come back on the other side of the break. So remember, you can always check us out on the web at ilovetocomehome.com. And if you want to hear this radio show, if you missed any of it, or any of our radio shows, we got a couple years worth of shows loaded up on there. Just go to YouTube and type in Chaparral Pavers. See you on the other side of the break.
You're listening to Patio Side Chats with Fernando Martinez from Chaparral Pavers on California's Central Coast. Here on 1240 AM and 99.5 FM, KSMA.
Chaparral Pavers. ILoveToComeHome.com. Imagine the flickering flames and warmth of a fire pit, soothing sounds of trickling water, decorative lighting, highlighting your landscape at dusk. Driveways and patios, not only functional, but a work of art. This is what Chaparral Pavers does for your landscape lifestyle. You'll love to come home. Chaparral Pavers. Visit us now at ILoveToComeHome.com.
If you're thinking about installing a new paver patio or paver driveway, check out Chaparral Pavers online at ILoveToComeHome.com. Serving the Central Coast since 2001, Chaparral Pavers will work with you to get it right and complete the job to your specifications, as customer service is king at Chaparral Pavers. Paver driveways are stylish and durable and guaranteed to never crack. If your old concrete driveway or entryway is a hazardous cracking mess, it's time to call Chaparral Pavers. Go to their website, ILoveToComeHome.com. You'll find all the information you need. Check out photographs of past installations and reviews from Central Coast residents who have used Chaparral Pavers. And don't forget, all installations are guaranteed for the life of your home. So check out Chaparral Pavers online at ILoveToComeHome.com. Chaparral Pavers, they'll make you love to come home. Now, back to Patio Side Chats with Fernando Martinez from Chaparral Pavers on KSMA.
And we're back. Okay, we are talking about utilizing your outdoor space to its full potential. So basically treating it like an extension of your home, an extra room to your house. It should feel comfortable, nice and calm and relaxing. There should be furniture out there. There should be enough patio space to utilize that furniture. And I like breaking things into themes and spaces. We talked about being warm at night with a fire pit. Hot days, you should have shades. Either it could be as simple as an umbrella or planting a tree or, getting some sort of pergola or overhead structure. Putting in maybe a nice calming water feature, things that you can't do really inside too much. You don't see water features too often inside the home sometimes, but take advantage of the fact that it's outside. Outdoor lighting, nice, warm glows, that yellowish, almost approaching orange, and no light in your eyes. Just a nice relaxed feeling, putting up artwork, thinking about painting and the colors, thinking about fragrance in the plant material, playing around and horsing around out in the yard like, these grown kids and adult bodies, lawn games for your lawn. And you could even make, bocce ball courts and horseshoe pits and things. A little more, you really need the space, and those are built-in things. But the lawn games that you can just purchase and use on the grass, I think are the simplest and really easy. But, if that works for you and you love a certain sport like golf, I think it's kind of a big commitment to put in a putting green in your backyard. But once you do, it gives you that reason to go out there and utilize it. Friends come over, you got a couple putters out there ready to go. It's going to be just tons of fun. So utilizing the full potential of your lot size and not just relying on the square footage that you're limited to inside the house. So that's what we're about here. Now, I promised I was going to talk a little bit about cooking. So the obvious thing, the outdoor kitchen, and that can be a massive expensive project, or it can be something reasonable. It can be as simple as going down and getting a gas barbecue and just putting it out there, having a place to cook. So also, I want you to consider, the Santa Maria style, the red oak, absolutely delicious. Oh, what a difference. The flavors there, pretty simple setup. They sell the little bags of the chunks of the red oak. Great way to cook outside. You can even get a little tailgate one I've had for a long time, actually, and a little stand for it. Super simple and really cheap, and you can cook a lot of great tasting barbecue on something like that. Pizza ovens, very easy. They come pre-made. You order them. They show up on a pallet. You got to build some sort of a table or structure or something to put it on, but the pizza oven itself is done. You put it out there. You get some pizza dough and a nice wood-fired pizza. Put your toppings on there. Kids can make their own pizzas. Oh, my goodness. Are you fully utilizing the potential of a yard when you've got a place to cook and barbecue, make pizzas? You're doing lawn games. Maybe you got a little golf game going. So, these ideas, something's going to hit, and I really want you to think about. One thing we did talk about too was the outdoor bar, maybe a little fridge out there, kegerator, whatever suits you, and something that you think you would want to go out there and use on a regular basis. Just go for it. Put that in, and that's something that you use every single day. Your home, I think it's money well spent. It's an investment in the property. Your money's not going anywhere. It's still there. You're living in it. It retains its value really well. And in some cases, you can actually make more money on a sale of a home than what you've ever put into it. So a lot of that has to do with the market. But when a potential buyer is coming over and they see something they want, that can get you your asking price or more. So think about that. I also wanted to briefly talk about tall plants and trees and thinking about shade and privacy. Please absolutely consider that. You can put up trellises or privacy panels, trees, tall living walls, and bushes and things like that. So really, that's what I wanted to kind of hammer home today. I know it's a lot of ideas to think about, but hopefully something in there, and this overall inspiration of really utilizing the full potential of your yard. Thank you so much for tuning in today and listening, and I hope to see you next week. Catch us on the web at ilovetocomehome.com, and of course on YouTube, type in Chaparral Pavers to get all these radio shows. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
This has been Patio Side Chats with Fernando Martinez from Chaparral Pavers. Go to ilovetocomehome.com to find out more, or call 805-588-6917. And be sure and tune in next week at this same time for Patio Side Chats here on KSMA.